OpenAI warns its next AI could help create biological weapons. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is happening right now, and the implications are bigger than you might think. OpenAI just dropped a bombshell warning that's got everyone from tech experts to government officials on edge. They're saying their next generation of AI models, the ones coming after their latest O3 reasoning model, could cross into dangerous territory. We're talking about AI that could potentially guide someone with zero scientific background through creating actual biological weapons. Think about that for a second. What if creating a deadly pathogen became as easy as following a YouTube tutorial? That's the nightmare scenario we're potentially heading toward. Johannes Heidecke, OpenAI's head of safety systems, put it bluntly when talking to reporters. He said they're expecting some of the successors to their O3 model to hit what they call a high-risk classification. And before you think this is just OpenAI being paranoid, they're not alone. Anthropic, the company behind Claude, activated similar safety protocols when they launched Claude 4 last month. Even they admitted their AI was getting powerful enough to potentially aid in spreading biological and nuclear threats. But here's where it gets really interesting and kind of terrifying. OpenAI calls this risk novice uplift. Sounds like corporate jargon, right? But what it actually means is way scarier. Novice uplift is when AI becomes so good at explaining complex processes that someone with absolutely no scientific training could follow its instructions to create dangerous biological agents. Imagine someone who failed high school chemistry suddenly having the ability to create pathogens. That's novice uplift. The AI essentially becomes the world's most dangerous tutor. Now, before you start building that underground bunker, let me be clear about something. OpenAI isn't saying their AI can create brand new, never-before-seen bioweapons. According to Heidecke, we're not yet in the world where there's like novel, completely unknown creation of biothreats that have not existed before. What they're worried about is AI helping people replicate things that expert scientists already know how to make. So how exactly would this work? Well, previous attempts at biological attacks often failed because the attackers lacked specific knowledge. They might have had the motivation and some basic understanding, but they hit walls when it came to the technical details. Where do you get the materials? How do you handle them safely? How do you actually deploy them effectively? AI could fill in all those knowledge gaps. In testing scenarios, researchers found that AI models could identify potential biological agents, like those responsible for smallpox, anthrax, and plague. The AI could discuss their potential for causing mass casualties, suggest delivery methods, and even propose cover stories for acquiring dangerous materials while appearing to conduct legitimate research. One particularly chilling example from research studies showed an AI discussing foodborne and aerosol delivery methods for botulinum toxin. It didn't just stop at theory. It suggested specific aerosol devices and even crafted believable cover stories for obtaining the bacteria. This is the kind of detailed step-by-step guidance that transforms theoretical knowledge into practical capability. But OpenAI isn't just sitting back and watching this unfold. They've developed what they call a safety-focused reasoning monitor, basically an AI watchdog that runs alongside their main models. This monitor is specifically trained to spot prompts related to biological and chemical threats and shut them down before the AI can respond with dangerous information. During testing, this safety system blocked an impressive 98.7% of risky prompts. That sounds great, right? Well, here's the catch, and OpenAI admits this themselves. The test didn't account for users who might try different wording after being blocked. If someone's determined enough, they might find ways to phrase their questions that slip past the monitors. It's like having a really good security guard at the door, but if someone's wearing a convincing enough disguise, they might still get through. The system works by having red team members, basically ethical hackers, spend thousands of hours trying to trick the AI into giving dangerous information. They logged about 1,000 hours just labeling dangerous conversations related to biological risks. Every time they found a way to get the AI to discuss something it shouldn't, that example gets fed back into training the safety monitor to recognize similar attempts in the future. OpenAI's updated preparedness framework, which they revised in April 2025, focuses on three main threat categories: biological and chemical capabilities, cybersecurity capabilities, and AI self-improvement capabilities. They've eliminated the distinction between low and medium risk levels to focus exclusively on identifying when models cross into high or critical risk territory. What makes this especially concerning is that OpenAI isn't the only one pushing the boundaries of AI capability. Google's working on their Gemini models, which their CEO calls the most thoughtful they've developed. Chinese labs are pursuing their own paths to advanced AI. The open source community is racing to match the capabilities of proprietary models. Once these capabilities exist anywhere, they can spread everywhere. And here's a sobering thought from researchers at the Belfer Center for Science and International Affairs. Our current detection and deterrence systems for biological weapons are mostly designed for nation-state actors. International treaties, UN Security Council complaints, none of that matters to a lone wolf attacker or an apocalyptic cult that doesn't care about consequences. The recent RAND Corporation studies offer some reassurance, though. When they had teams role-play as malicious actors trying to plan biological attacks, they found that current AI models didn't significantly increase the operational risk compared to just using the internet. The information AI provided mostly mirrored what's already available online. But, and this is a big but, that's with current models. The researchers were clear that they didn't measure how far current AI is from being genuinely dangerous. And given how fast AI is advancing, what's true today might not be true 6 months from now. Chris Lahane, OpenAI's policy chief, told reporters they're expanding their work with U.S. national labs and exploring how to use AI itself to combat potential misuse. It's basically an AI arms race where the same technology creating the risk might also be our best defense against it. OpenAI is convening events to bring together nonprofits and government researchers to discuss these risks. They're not just worried about their own models, they're trying to prepare society for a world where multiple companies and even open source projects might create AI with these capabilities. OpenAI's researchers, like Sanjini Agarwal, emphasize that their preparedness framework focuses specifically on catastrophic risks. This isn't about AI giving someone a recipe for a stink bomb. It's about preventing genuinely civilization-threatening scenarios. What's particularly clever about OpenAI's approach is that their reasoning models actually make monitoring easier in some ways. These models show their thinking process step by step, which means the safety monitor can spot problematic reasoning before any harmful output is generated. Of course, they found this monitoring capability is very fragile. If you directly supervise the thinking process too much, models can learn to hide their true intentions while still misbehaving. Looking at the bigger picture, we're at a crossroads. The same AI capabilities that could revolutionize medicine, help us cure diseases, and advance biological research could also lower the barriers for creating biological weapons. It's the ultimate dual-use dilemma. Some experts argue we need international agreements governing AI development, similar to nuclear non-proliferation treaties. Others focus on technical solutions like OpenAI's safety monitors. The reality is we probably need both, and fast. Because here's the thing, once Pandora's box is open, you can't close it again. The knowledge of how to build increasingly powerful AI is spreading globally. The compute costs that make advanced models expensive today will plummet tomorrow, just like how supercomputer power from the 90s now fits in your pocket. So what does this mean for you? Well, we're entering an era where the most powerful technologies in human history are being developed at breakneck speed, with safety measures racing to keep up. OpenAI's warning isn't meant to panic anyone. It's meant to prepare us. They're essentially saying, hey, we're about to cross a line here, and everyone needs to be ready. The good news is that people are taking this seriously. Companies are implementing safety measures, governments are starting to pay attention, and researchers are working on solutions. The bad news is that the clock is ticking, and the margin for error is getting smaller. As we stand on the brink of AI systems that could enable previously unimaginable capabilities, both beneficial and harmful, the choices we make now will echo for generations. This isn't just a tech story. It's a story about the future of human civilization and whether we can harness our most powerful tools without destroying ourselves in the process. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.